Okay, so we are running Hell on Earth with the M14 ABR as the Sharpshooter as Mr. Foster. So, I want to say that it's a bit tricky playing with the M14 right off the bat, because one, the iron sights isn't that great, as you guys can see. It's very blocky. I don't want to say blocky, but it's very odd. So, but I mean, we'll see how we go, how things go. I do feel like the Sharpshooter probably thrives more in outdoor or more open spaces rather than enclosed spaces with the M14, but it can change. But I'll be completely honest with you, I didn't look into the modifications for the M14 as much, besides the primary ones, which was the suppressor, the match grade, and the full auto receiver, because those were the main ones that were primarily there. That was primarily part of the update and the key feature of the M14. That, I thought I hit him in this tank. In terms of the M14, it is pretty, wow, that was a really big knockback. In terms of the M14 though, it's not, I don't want to say it's like bad, like it will probably get a lot better, or it will get better in terms of modifications, but the cost itself is basically your entire operational budget. And I do feel like if more weapons are being added and their operation budget is getting bigger and bigger, then my main concern is that, you know, obviously I feel like most people will say this, but the operational budget should probably be increased slightly. And it's funny because the engineer got their operation budget increased by quite a bit, actually. And I do want to test that out a little bit after I record this this video. I definitely do not want to add a suppressor. I don't want to add a suppressor onto the M14 because it sounds really satisfying. Just listen to it. That's not the M14. Just sounds exactly like how it was before. It's a red dot sight. Oh, actually, wait, you can get a red dot sight on this. Okay. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get this because I do want to see the bit of a difference to it, so. Let's just get them out of the way then. I forgot the accuracy isn't that great with it, with the red dot at white rarity, but it's fine. I heard that. Where? Fantastic. I don't know what jumped at me. Oh, just crawlers. They also made it so that the bash is more responsive when. Wow, I just wasted my immunity just for a larva just to touch me. I'm jumping. Is that a husk? That was a husk. I don't know if he's still alive or not. Okay. Whoa! Whoa! Nope, that husk is still alive. Okay. Wow, you could actually hear his footsteps. That's kind of crazy to me. Okay. Okay. Time out. I want to say maybe a whole mag might take care of a scrape. I missed. Okay. If I can get them inside the blizzard, get them frozen, and land all of my shots, I think maybe a full mag or maybe a half mag might do the work. Why is this active? I mean, it looked like it was active. Alright. And let's see how well this build goes, because this one has the full auto receiver. I didn't put the suppressor on because, one, the suppressor is just expensive and not really worth it in terms of getting, just in terms of just getting the gun to a decent price point. Why did you spawn next to me? Here. Full auto is just if you don't want to keep shooting, or you don't want to shoot single fire, I guess.
Take a seat.
I thought the tree was a Zen. That's why I aimed over there, because I thought it was a Zen. Okay, that means he's halfway dead. Or he's close to being dead. Yeah, I'll definitely put a sight on this gun at some point in time, because I would say it would be more appropriate to have a sight onto the M14. I might run the ACOG sight and try that out and see how that goes. He froze himself? Smooth. Get out of here.
No need to go to pieces over it.
Hello. I'm about to full auto this. Okay. I didn't mean I was actually gonna do it. I didn't know he was gonna be behind me. Alright. Grenade here. That. I mean, we're not doing too bad. Oh god. Oop. 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 I don't know why. But the reason why I'm like running the M14 like this was because like I thought it would be fun, but I'm now regretting my decision on having it being run like this, because I'm like, I can't hit anything. Wait, how did the crawler get through? Okay, whatever. Get out of here. I don't know how I missed that. Oh my god.
I'm really earning my money now.
Okay.
That's how.
They also made it so in this update. I don't know, I've been so focused because like whenever I play Sharpshooter, I get really focused for some reason. Don't ask me why, but it's probably because I'm trying to get my shots in. But in terms of just, you know, the Zeds, they just made them more audible, so you can actually hear things And I appreciate that because obviously sound is a very important thing to feel more immersed into whatever you're playing. And obviously if the sound, like, if they just sound weak, then like, well, this gun's a pea shooter, you know? But they also did a few things in terms of just the M14 double barrel and the AK, but the Zeds do feels odd that they decide that they do want to be nerfing some of the Zeds. And I mean, I understand some things where like they need to do some adjustments with some things, but full on like allowing you to like, you know, nerf it so that players can dodge better is like throws me off a bit because I'm so used to, you know, knowing like, okay, like if they make it easy to dodge, then like it's just gonna throw me off a little bit. But I don't know, I just feel like a bit weird that they're doing it, or at least like I don't know. I feel like like I completely forgot about this mechanic, but there's a mechanic. I don't know if you guys know about this mechanic, but when you have your knife out, you can push them. So you have block, and then you do the melee, or you do left mouse. Then you're able to do a push animation like that, and I don't know why it's there, because now with the ability to like push Zeds away with like just running into them and bashing into them, like there's no actual purpose for it if you think about it. So what was the point of having that mechanic in the game when there is no point in having said mechanic in the game when it's already alleviated with just, oh, okay, she can just do that, I guess. Oh, they're all sirens. Okay, get out of here. Jesus Christ. Well, yeah, I mean, to me, it feels like this mechanic right here isn't really great. I mean, I don't want to say it's bad, but, like, it just doesn't feel right, so to say. And it's like, why have this mechanic in game when we don't use it as much? Like, as a player, I wanted to, you know, like, it would make sense to, like, yeah, this mechanic is gonna be helpful in terms of in general, but, like, it only really feels like it's only helpful if you're running the ninja or just doing, like, a melee build. But in general, I just feel that it doesn't hold up. The mechanic itself doesn't really hold up to what it is, because if you're surrounded, what's the first thing you're gonna do? Take out your knife? I wouldn't do that. I'm gonna try to bash my way out of it rather than take out my knife. And so that running mechanic can be finicky though, because you could run and slide into them, and from there it's just gonna be like, oh, okay, well, whatever, you know. Whoa, why is there so many flesh pounds? So I also just bought the Artemis, if you guys haven't noticed, but... Oh. Not playing Commando, that's awkward. Oh, it feels so weird. I'm like spamming it and I can't spam it. Oh, because I was on full auto, that's why. I still don't know why I decided to make this gun like, yeah, let's just shoot from the hip. I will definitely, most likely run a short mags on the M14, because the reload speed on the M14 is, oh, I feel like I'm reloading for days. I'm kind of curious because the Artemis isn't primarily used for damage, so to say, because the Artemis only primarily focuses on its fire rate. and I believe there's no like actual heavy receiver. So this would be more like a replacement Artemis if the M14 is a replacement Artemis if you want to run something that has firepower but doesn't have that flexibility of having, wow, that's a lot of strikes. Compared to the Artemis's fire rate that trades it in for damage, or trades it in for fire rate, trades in damage for fire rate. So in comparison, they're both their own guns, and that's a neat part to say because one specializes in damage but trades it for fire rate, while the other one focuses more on fire rate but trades in for damage. And that really, you know, makes the guns feel more unique to themselves rather than, oh, this is just a carbon copy of... Oh, shoot. What is happening here? Heal. Okay. Because each weapon has their own specialty, and I appreciate that, but I'm worried that later on it's going to... The weapons are going to start, you know, colliding with each other in terms of, like, they're just going to be showing up as carbon copies of one another, so to say. And that's my worry part, because they did that quite a bit with a lot of guns in the series in general. Like, obviously, some guns will have a bit more of a gimmick to them compared to one that, you know, was in the game from the start, right? So that's the one thing I'm worried about with the future weapons that are going to be added, where it's like, okay, well, this is just a carbon copy of, like, the Artemis, but the only difference is that it's not burst, you know, like, or it does the same amount of damage to the other weapons, but then, like, the only difference is like, oh yeah, it's just a different coat of paint on it. Like, just reskins of weapons is what I'm worried about. But if they do it right and don't, you know, try to make carbon copies of other weapons, then I feel like it will be a good thing. Oh, that's a siren. That was a blow? I didn't even know that was a blow. The other thing is, I think what threw me off was that the M14 had the electric damage as an ammo type, and that surprised me. So obviously these two, they're both, the Artemis and the EBR are both in a league of their own, because in their own tier list respectively, because the tier list, the M14 does more damage comparison than the Artemis, obviously. So we have one that focuses more on fire rate, and then we have a weapon that focuses more on fire damage or fire power. So I feel like that is a good in-between from that, you know, like tier 2 is an in-between to tier 3, obviously. So M14 is a good in-between between these two, because the ESR has the slowest fire rate, but it also provides the highest damage. And so it does feel that way, you know. And oh, thank goodness it's a Chimera. It's not the Chimera or the Crawler. Impaler. So I do want to see with the damage boost. I have a feeling that the M14 might be a good choice. Alright. That's pretty good, actually. With the damage out, I'm not looking half the time. I'm trying to see. Because just hitting him, that just one took out majority of his health solo, so. I mean, having that consistent damage increase definitely works. Although I would probably run a foregrip if you're running the M14 with the full auto receiver though. And with the combination of the blizzard effect as well, that's not bad. He's already in phase 2. He's about to be in phase 2. He is now in phase 2. I'm just gonna watch. Missed all of my shots on that one. Ooh. I mean, at least he was standing in it. That makes him more vulnerable to force damage, so... I think once I upgrade this to blue and purple, the ammo type, it will definitely do more damage. I might just pull off some mods I have on the ESR and move it to the M14, because that's what I did with the Storm Guard. And, well, I don't really use the ESR as much anyways, so it's better to make use of a weapon that I'm most likely going to be running more often, you know? So, but yeah, ammo types are basically interchangeable between every weapon, as long as it makes sense. So if it's like running armor-piercing rounds, then... What the... What? What just happened? I think this is like a standard thing that's been happening a lot, and I've been noticing that. What was that? Okay, that was funny. Alright, well, that was the M14. I mean, I'll do more thoughts on the M14 as a separate video, but this is just my initial thoughts of just running it purely by itself, and honestly, it does... To summarize it, it does feel like a different weapon compared to the Artemis. That's fine. It's like a good in-between from the ESR and the Artemis, so it's like... It's a good match to have in the middle, so... Yeah, that's about it.